You probably know someone like this, a parent, maybe, or a grandparent who spent 40 years carefully saving, ended up comfortable, and still won't spend a penny more than they have to. They've got more than enough, and they live like they're one bad month from broke. From the outside, it looks completely irrational. It isn't. The easy explanation is that they're just tight with money or scared of ending up poor. But that's not really what's going on. What looks like hoarding is decades of psychology doing exactly what it was trained to do. Your financial personality doesn't switch on the day you retire. It gets built slowly, across a whole lifetime, starting when you're a kid. If someone grew up watching their parents stretch every dollar, or came of age during a recession, or lived through a stretch of real unemployment or runaway inflation, that leaves a mark that never fully fades. A lot of today's retirees grew up on stories from parents who saw genuine hardship and then hit their own financial scares in the decades that followed. So being careful was never really a personality trait. It was survival. Psychologists call it financial imprinting. The lessons you pick up early about money become the rules you live by for the rest of your life, mostly without ever noticing. For a lot of people who are retired now, the lesson was simple, and it was drilled in hard. Save, don't waste, and always save something for when things go wrong. Do that for 40 or 50 years, and saving stops being something you do. It becomes part of who you are, so by the time they reach retirement, they aren't just protecting a bank balance. They're protecting a lifetime of habits that kept them safe. Which is why, for them, spending doesn't feel like freedom. It feels a lot closer to loss. There's a well-known quirk in how the brain handles money, called loss aversion. Losing something hurts us about twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. Now think about what a lifetime of saving does with that. For 40 years, watching the number in the account climb felt like winning, and anything that pulled it down felt like a threat to be avoided. Retirement asks them to do the exact opposite. The plan now is to watch that number go down intentionally, month after month. And every withdrawal trips the same alarm that saving spent a lifetime teaching them to listen for. So plenty of retirees keep living as though they're still saving for a retirement that already came, because some part of their brain never got the message that the finish line was crossed. It gets worse in a downturn. When the market dips and the balance drops for reasons they can't control, the fear jumps, and they tighten up even harder, even when the long-term plan is still perfectly on track. But if you actually ask them what they're afraid of, the answer usually isn't what you'd expect. It isn't really about running out of money. It's about not knowing. Nobody can tell you how long you'll live, what your health will cost, whether a care home is coming, or what the market will do over the next 20 years. That pile of unknowns just sits there, and the brain handles unknowns badly. We're wired to overestimate risks we can't measure, so a vague, unlikely disaster in the future can feel scarier than a very real cost happening right now, like the years of trips and comfort they could easily afford and keep saying no to. That big balance isn't really there to be spent. It's there as a buffer against everything they can't predict. Holding on to it gives them a feeling of control, and for a lot of people, that sense of control matters more than the money itself. And for someone who spent decades budgeting, avoiding debt, and going without, that balance is proof of something. It's a record of the sacrifice, the discipline, and the independence they built with their own hands. Spending it down can feel like rubbing out the evidence of a whole life's work. There's even an effect economists call the endowment effect, where we value something more just because it's ours. So letting go of savings feels harder than the math says it should. And when your self-worth is tied to being careful and responsible, spending on yourself can bring a strange stab of guilt, as if you're betraying the person you spent your whole life being. So a lot of them would rather leave it to their kids, or keep it sitting there as a cushion, or simply hold on to the option, because having the choice feels like freedom even if they never use it. All of which points at something people rarely say out loud. The hardest financial skill of all isn't saving, it's learning how to spend. Building wealth and actually using it take two completely different mindsets, and nobody ever teaches the second one. The whole point of saving was to buy security, and at some stage, that security arrives. But the habit doesn't know how to stop. What helps is seeing the money for what it always was. It was a tool, built to be used. Some people find it easier once they split their savings into two pots. One that covers the essentials no matter what, and one that's theirs to spend without guilt. Others give themselves a set amount to enjoy each year, so the decision is already made, and they're not fighting it every time. Spending it in retirement isn't undoing 40 years of discipline. It's the reason that discipline existed in the first place. The goal isn't to end up with the biggest possible number in your bank account. It's to reach a point where you can finally stop worrying and let yourself enjoy what you built. Is there anybody in your life, including yourself, who handles money like this? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there.